Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for another Game Theory Psychology Social Study sort of video. And if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. It does help. So the too long didn't read about this video, or too long didn't watch about this video is going to be that more often than not, the real thing that is gatekeeping you from being good in video games is you. You are the problem, right? And I'm going to come at this from multiple angles and try to make this topic a little bit deeper, but this comes from reading this thing. The average level of play is so much higher than the Street Fighter IV era. But so much higher. Jeez. But also, this is a consequence of input buffers making link combos easy. You can't just out-execute your opponent anymore, which was a huge way people consistently won versus other players in the past. And he clarifies himself in some of the thread afterwards. If you want to go read it. And he later says something like, I don't know, paraphrasing, he doesn't think execution is bad, just at mid-level, execution would gatekeep people. And I think of that from multiple angles. When I hear that and I read that kind of stuff, I think of multiple things. First of all, Street Fighter IV execution is so overly fucking blown, it's ridiculous. I said before, many people, when I was making those Street Fighter IV videos, and, I played online a little bit for the game, but I would get messages under other people's account because, again, I didn't have my own PS3 to really play. So sometimes I'd play under a friend's account, while we saw each other just fool around, fuck around, right? And, I'd get messages like, oh, how are you doing all these combos? Are you doing that plink thing? Or even when I would do those combo videos, oh, man, are you plinking? I'm like, what the fuck is plinking, right? Street Fighter IV players complaining about execution, gatekeeping people, when all these just frame combos are not really for what you're doing. They're not like a just frame like you're doing in Super Turbo or something like that. There's still a buffer, dude. You know what I mean? It's just not as hard as people made it out to be. A lot of people that play Street Fighter IV probably couldn't even do a low forward to Super Fireball in Super Turbo. It's ridiculous, right? But another angle you could look at is that why is it bad, again, if execution is gatekeeping you in the first place? Like, what's the problem? Something has to gatekeep you from getting better, right? Like, literally, think about it. Something has to gatekeep you from getting better to that next level, right? Maybe it's CVS2. Oh, you're a pretty good player, let's say, but you refuse to roll cancel. Or maybe you're just bad at roll canceling. Well, roll canceling is gatekeeping you from being better. Let's say it's Alpha 2. Alpha 2, man, you really don't want to do custom combos because you don't like them. Well, that's going to gatekeep you from being better. Maybe you're playing some game and the way to win this game is the tiers are so fucked. You know what I mean? You got to play top tier. Well, you're gatekeeping yourself by not playing in top tiers. Maybe you play a game that has a lot of heavy counter character matchups and you're fucking awesome at the game, but you're bad at the counter character matchup to your character. Well, your knowledge about the counter character matchup and you practicing it is gatekeeping you in that instance. So what I'm getting at is you could say anything could be gatekeeping you. I mean, literally, right? You know what I mean? So many things could be gatekeeping you. And the funny thing is, Street Fighter IV, if you think about it, is not that old of a game that you could say you were being gatekept from something that was not under your control. Generally speaking, right? We all have our problems, so to speak, right? But Street Fighter IV was still a game that you have training mode. There's a record function. You can play online. I've said this before, dude. When I look at the way that people play video games nowadays, there's people that have played more video games of this specific game just in a year's time than I've played in my entire fucking life. I know I don't remember if I told this story, but when me and Mike Watson were catching up and we're talking about like, dude, these kids nowadays, they don't even get it, dude. Like, dude, you guys have played more video games than I've ever played in my entire fucking life now, dude. All these years combined. Look like those Guilty Gear guys. Oh, I'm a noob. I have 12,000 matches played. What? You know what I mean? Like back in the day, Again, you know what I mean? You think about the arcade, unless you're winning, you're not really playing. So you got to practice in your head. You got to be able to look at things like that. You got to get good at fundamentals, right? And even if we think about games like Super Turbo, look what happened back when I played, back in the day. I guess, there's different back in the days, so to speak, right? But whatever it would have been, late 2000s, late 2000, like around 2010, whatever. When I was playing again, I learned Carnal's Revenge real fast, learned Street Fighter Alpha, and when I was playing Super Turbo, you know what I mean? People used to say they thought maybe I was Damn Die's fake account. Do you remember that? You've seen players, I've still seen Discord posts, oh, is that like Damn Die's fake account? Or is that ST player's fake account? That guy's way too good to be just somebody random. You know what I mean? That was already, a time when, let's say that Super Turbo had progressed to Super Turbo has all these option selects and everything. The way the people did not play Super Turbo the way that I played as a kid, right? Super Turbo has more, let's call it potential, execution barriers if you're not executing your option select, so to speak, whatever. But guess what? I'd play a lot of these new guys, whatever, and their fundamentals are just so bad. They're not good at stopping simple stuff. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. We could look at a game, and again, this is why I'm trying to come at this from different perspectives. Look at that Guilty Gear fucking Accent Core, whatever, dude, right? I've said before, I'm surprised that I was able to win so much. I'm surprised when I'm able to win so much in video games, right? But man, God, I think, God, dude, I can't even imagine playing Guilty Gear nowadays with that record function, or that, it's not a record function. What is it called? It's a replay function. I don't know exactly what the fuck it's called in the game. I'm sure you play, I've seen it. It looks, I've looked at it a little bit and I'm like, wow, this thing is amazing. Like, I can't even imagine what it's like to practice as someone that actually takes video games seriously now, because you can practice so many different counter setups. You can literally go back and replay the match, whatever it's called. Replay function, where the fuck, right? There's like almost no excuse for you to be bad at the game. Nothing really gatekeeps you besides you. You can play on the internet. Street Fighter 4 didn't have that replay function, so to speak, but there's a record function, just for training mode. But you could still play. Oh man, imagine back in the day you're at the arcade. Oh fuck, I don't have any money to play. Well, Street Fighter 4, go online. Most people can probably do that. You're in training mode. Just imagine, well, fuck, I can't find anyone to play online. Well, I can go to training mode. Right? I'm just, and again, I'm not saying, obviously excuses exist. You can have excuses, but the excuse has to be a real excuse. I mean, again, you could say for me, I can't physically play a lot of video games even more. Even if I wanted to, I've had surgery on my hands. My hands are fucked up. I just went and got more shots. It was 2 or 3 weeks ago, My body's fucked, dude. Even like people, oh, you use steroids or some shit like that. Like, bro, dude, I work out with like low weights and body weight stuff because my body is fucked. And even being sick, people don't understand the mental fatigue. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to even concentrate. The point is, that's an excuse, right? You know what I mean? You got some health ailments that keep you, but whatever. But you know what? That's still, albeit, that is on me. It's a, it's a shitty thing, but it's on me. If I can't practice, you know what I mean? I guess I would say that it's not the game's execution, it's my execution, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Is it not my execution? Or I guess we got these fucking shit-ass controllers. I could blame you. I'm looking at you, motherfucker. Fuck you, right? I'm looking at that D-pad. Fuck you, motherfucker, right? You can blame, this apparatus was shit. You know what I mean? But generally speaking, do you blame the game's execution? That's the game. Maybe it's your execution. Maybe you are gatekeeping yourself and most people don't have a real good fucking excuse, right? As if, you can't just out-execute your opponent anymore. Why not? Isn't that good? I mean, there's got to be something that differentiates you from the other person. Maybe that guy, he's more solid fundamentally, right? You know what I mean? I mean, that's everything. That's literally fucking everything, dude. People want video games to be a sport. You know what I mean? Look at sports. Look at when you compare one guy to another player. That player, he's stronger than the other guy, but that guy's faster. You know what I mean? Oh man, that guy's got a better glove hand, but man, that guy's agility, going crease to crease, Urbe with the fucking split save. You know what I mean? His ability to go crease. He's small, but agile, quick. You know what I mean? But he's small. That's his weakness, right? You know what I mean? That's everything. Just like the video game that you're fucking playing, dude. Oh, my character, he's got good zoning, but he's weak up close or some shit. Just like that, you as a human being, maybe you have strengths and weaknesses. Maybe the game isn't gatekeeping you. Maybe it's the character that's gatekeeping you. Maybe it's your fucking perspective, like I've said before. One of the things that, you know, can make you better at a certain video game that you like is, you know, playing different video games where maybe the way to win in that video game is something that you normally don't like to do. And so then once you play the video game that you like, you know what I mean? Oh, now I can come at this game from that perspective because I'm used to it, because that's how I had to win now, right? Again, there's such this weird thing about people hating execution in fucking video games, dude. Like, it's a bad thing. It's weird. And then you got people who want credit for the execution when they fucking button bind and macro everything. And I'm always like, if you button bind and macro, you didn't do it. You don't have the execution to do it. You literally did not do it. And then you want credit for doing it. It's stupid. It makes no fucking sense. You didn't do it. Oh, I want execution credit, but you gate kept yourself. You didn't actually do it. You don't get credit. If someone asks you to run a 5-minute mile and you run 5 1-minute miles and then put it together, that is not your real 5-minute mile, dude. It's fucking retarded, dude, right? That shit is stupid. You know? And again, the only thing gatekeeping you is your fucking self. And it's this fucking victim complex and all this. I got to do a video about victim complexes and everything. You know, again, you got to be more than the excuse. Again, I've said, you got to be able to live with the excuse that you have. It's got to be a real one, dude. And I always say, like, the tech community who's done all this stuff for video games and all this kind of shit. It's like, bro, I'm more than the excuse. I have excuses. I have so many excuses that could gatekeep me, but I'm just so much farther ahead in the tech community and being able to analyze a video game than anyone else, that even if you try to gatekeep me, it doesn't matter. You can try to hide it, you know, but it doesn't change the fact that it's actually happened, you know? But again, this idea, well, I'm not saying that, you know, oh, it's a problem, you know, you can't just out-execute your opponent anymore. Why not? Isn't that kind of good? Just like sometimes he outsmarted you. He out-executed that. Why is that bad? You just want every game to be boring, and then he's like, oh, well, I'm not saying execution is bad, but, you know, you shouldn't be able to gatekeep people at a mid-level from execution. Why not? There's got to be a stepping stone to get better. What is the stepping stone? Oh, it shouldn't be execution. What should it be? It's got to be how smart you are, because a lot of you motherfuckers aren't that fucking smart. Look at those fucking Alpha 2 videos and all those footsie videos. The few people that try to argue it, they sound like fucking morons. They're idiots. Oh, what's your argument? Oh, you're crazy. That's your argument? So I'm right, but you're just going to say I'm crazy so not to watch my videos. You know? It's like I said, video games nowadays, dude, what they try to do is, it's almost like a GED test, what it tries to do. Games are so simple and so pre-planned, all this kind of stuff. It's like a GED test. Just to prove that you're just competent enough at something that you can play the game at a reasonable level. Is that what we're talking about when we talk about a mid-level or average level player? That everyone can become an average level player, everyone can become a middle level player, because the game is just that simple that you can take the GED test and get that, you know what I mean? That's what it's like. Oh, I can just read the cliff notes and I am automatically a mid-level player. You know? Anyway, remember if you like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. Can I get a goddamn webcam? Support the channel. Anyway. The end.